Welcome back to XFL Van Schweiger's Den. Just a few comments on the XFL games over the weekend. I just have a few problems with some of the officiating that went on. Three games in particular. There was the Orlando Guardians, where there was a call there that could have changed the outcome of that game, and the Vegas Vipers. I think there was a couple of calls in that game that could have changed the whole outcome of that game. And the St. Louis Battlehawks. There was a couple calls in that game that were pretty suspect, or they weren't called. But anyway, the Vegas Vipers would have been 1-2 instead of 0-3. The Orlando Guardians would be 1-2 instead of 0-3. I know it's pretty much, the officiating has been pretty good, except for those three games. I watched them all the way through, and I watched every play, so I know, what happened in those games. I'm not really the only one who noticed it. I have a quick clip from A.J. McCarron here, the quarterback of the Battlehawks.
We'll bring Coach in momentarily, but obviously, as you can see, quarterback A.J. McCarron is here. So, A.J., if you want to open up with a statement, then we'll begin with questions.
Yeah, listen, they got us today. It's part of it. It's the game of football. We gave them one early, throwing the out route. Giovanni slips. It's going to be a completion, goes right to the corner, pick six. And then, for whatever reason, we just, it's just one of those games. You get momentum, you lose it, couldn't get it back. So, listen, they're a good ball team. They won today. It's the way it goes. That's the game of football.
Questions for AJ? Go ahead.
AJ, you guys did a great job in the first two games of the season protecting the ball. You didn't have any turnovers. Does losing the turnover battle, is that the sole reason you guys lost today, or were there other things that played into it?
Well, I don't know. What was the turnover battle? I don't know where it is. How many turnovers do they have?
Yeah, 3-2 or 3-3. That's right around.
Yeah, listen, you always want to try to win the turnover battle, but like I said, the pick six at the beginning, it's a completion 99 out of 100 times. That field's a little slippery. We got to, play over our toes, but he slips and it goes to him. It is what it is. And so we gave him a head start off of that. But yeah, you definitely want to try to win the turnover battle when you can.
Hakeem Butler, he was phenomenal for you at the end of that first half. What kind of went into not using him as much as you were in the second half?
Well, the second half they played a lot more zone, not as much man. And listen, that's Greg Williams. It's gonna be a chess match. So it was a good deal today, like us going back and forth with each other. He had some calls where we got him, and then he got us on a couple. So it's a game of football. It's just part of it.
Anybody else?
Right at the end there, you throw that touchdown pass off the recovered fumble. You guys get it back 4th and 15. Obviously, play you've had before. How comfortable was everybody there? Was the crowd getting to them at all, or was everybody just ready to go?
No, listen, I will, and I'm gonna speak on this. The league's got to come figure out a better way to get some of these calls right. And we had 3 to 4 times in the game where the refs came back to us and said we missed that call and apologized, straight up apologized. And it was times where you can't miss those calls. Like, keep one in the first half, keep our drive alive. They missed a call. The intentional grounding on Jordan right before they kicked the field goal One, he wasn't outside the pocket. There was no receiver around, and the ball didn't make it past the line of scrimmage. And so they come back. So either he's down, you rule him down, or it's intentional grounding. But they come back after and say, we missed that call. And my thing is, even, and I want to see the clip, but I think it was helmet to helmet at the end on 4th and 15 on me. And then the dude power drives me at the end. Like, it's some of these things where we got to protect guys too. Like, and I'm not talking about just myself, like, but I think we can't come back on some of these plays and say, hey, and apologize and say, that's our bad. Like, that's things we got to get right. And hopefully, I mean, we haven't had a defensive pass interference in 3 games.